Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friends. We are continuing our previous shir. This is the fourth shir on this topic of eating unkosher, soldiers eating unkosher. We digressed. The first shir we presented a number of kashas. The second and third shirim, we digressed onto the topic of how much money to spend on mitzvahs, seemingly unrelated. Of course, it's very related. Now in this shir, hopefully we're going to come to a better understanding back to the sugya of eating unkosher meat, soldiers eating kosher meat. The Rambam, Perek Ches, Hilchos Malachim, Halacha Aleph, and the Shaila of the Gemara about Eivari Basa Nechira. Gemara asks when they brought Basa Nechira, non-shechted meat, into Eretz Yisrael, which according to Rabbi Akiva was mutter in the Midbar. Gemara asks they are allowed to eat it once they bring it into Eretz Yisrael. So on this, the Rosh writes in Siman Chof Gimel, after he was machriach that it has to be that there's an afkamina in this Shaila also Bizman Hazeh. He writes that the afkamina is that a person assered himself the echad min haminim mizman yadua ve'ilach. He assered himself with one of these species from a certain time and onwards. And when the time came, he had from that same species for which he assered himself. It was a mutter for him to eat what remained in his hand. So he assered at a certain time, and now he still has it. Is he allowed to eat it? Inami, another nafkamina would be that Beis Din wanted to asser something, like they assered vinos akum v'chayotze behem. Is it asser when you have, from the time that Beis Din assered it, let's say you have it in your hand from before the time that Beis Din assered it, and they know that the Yehuda, so it's mutter now the Beis Din assered it, but you had it from before. So that's the same shaila of Basa Nechira, which is mutter in the Midbar. The shaila is it also mutter in Eretz Yisrael now that Basa Nechira, non-shechted meat, is aser? They know the Yehuda in Yoredei and Siman Samach Daled, Tzlach there in the Sefer Jewish Tzion, Daf Mem and Daf Samach Vav asks, all the same person, that if that's the case, why should a Nazir be usher in the wine that he had from before he was a Nazir? Or why should he be usher to become Tamid and Mason that were already dead before he was a Nazir? And he also asked the Yikr Shai of the Gemara, why only the Gemara asks L'gabe Eivari Basar Nechira, which is only the Fishitas Rabbi Akiva, and not B'chol Macholas Asuros, that was mutter to them before Matan Torah. And then we should discuss, are they usher also after Matan Torah if they already had them? These are the concepts of the Nod of Yehuda. And he also asked B'diuk Divrei Arash. He writes Nodar Mizman Yadua. Why does it say that he made a neder from a certain time? Why doesn't he just say from today? And then the shaila is what's going to be from the food he had until today. And then Viter, when the Rush talks about the Beis Din, he doesn't say Mizman Yadua. He says when the Beis Din makes a gzera, and they ask you something, is it aser only from here on in, or what you had in your hand before is mutter? Or no, even what you had in your hand before is aser. But there he doesn't write Mizman Yadua. At a certain time in the future they make. He just says that the Yisr is from today, not that they make a gzera for a certain future time. The Yisr is today. So he gave a little bit of a forced interpretation to get shot. But if you look in the Tzlach there, in Rabbi Akiva Eger, in the Sefer Aslan Doiraisa, in Klal Aleph, you see that the only shaila was L'gabe Nechira, because before they came into Eretz Yisrael, there was a din matir, Nechira had a din matir kishchita, like we see in the Sugi there, that according to Rabbi Akiva, Nechira is Shalahem Zoe Shchitas, and that's their Shchita. And since it became mutter, because it had a proper Shchita Kadiyachal. But other Isurim, once they become Asur, it's Pashut that they're Asur. But then Rabbi Akiva Eger didn't explain that if that's true, then what's the Safek? The heter was already Chal. Tzlach says maybe the Isser is that it's She'enu Zavuach. Kli Chemda talks about this. Sof Parshas V'Eschanan, and also Kovetz Ha'aretz Yavam Siman and Tesei Zayin Ayin Sham. Rabbi Akiva Eger writes that the Safek is that maybe it was Nasser B'chol. Nevertheless, it was Nasser, even though there was a Chalos Het there. Mechiras and Zoy Shchitasen, nevertheless, it became Asr now and they got into Eretz Yisrael. I don't understand. If it's mutter, it's not an avela, then mapitom, then now it became aser. And if the whole vort is dafka by nechira, because the nechira is like the shchita, then the suffix should only be by nechira. And now, like the Rosh writes, that it's by other things as well, by making a neder, a min aminim, or the gzer, the kind of a bezdin. So Rabbi Kiva Eger Firtois was a zachisi lahavin divrei harosh v'hemen efloim mimeni. I wasn't zoichet to understand the Rosh, and it's beyond me. So Goin Reb David Man, Zechat Tzaddik Livracha, explains as follows, based on what we explained in the earlier shiurim, that there's a din miyuchad al akiras tvar Torah. There's two din. There's being over on a tzivui, and then there's being okir divrei Torah. And when the Torah was given, and the parish of Nevela was given, that you're now allowed to eat Torah shloi nishchat, somebody who does is okir davar min ha-Torah. If he eats Torah shloi nishchat, he's okir davar min ha-Torah. Even though there's a chalos heter b'cheftzah. Why is there a chalos heter b'cheftzah? Because he did nechira on this animal. And nechira is a chalos heter on the cheftzah. Nevertheless, it's akiras divrei Torah, the second aspect. You weren't over on the tzivui, but it's akiras divrei Torah. Because sof, the Torah says, achila b'shchita. And he's being okay what it says in the Torah, achila b'lo shchita. So what's the chalos heter on the meat? Say the Gamma. But your person's still being over on what it says in the Torah. He's okay what it says in the Torah because the Torah says with shchita and he's eating without shchita. Even though there's no Isser B'cheftzah. So what is then the clear of Rabbi Yirmiyah and the Gemara about Basar Nechira? Is the Amira of the Torah, when the Torah says to Shech, does that relate to what remained? And if that's the case, then it's a Siya Neged Torah, and it's Akira. Or no, maybe it's only Lahaba, and not what remained, and then it's not even Akira. So mitzad, the Etzem Lab, the Etzem Isser, eating on kosher, clean hands, you're cool. Because Chalos Heter, it didn't Nechira Shchita. But, self calls self. Nechira makes it kosher like Shchita, that makes the animal, kashers the animal. Still, when the person eats it, self, he's eating meat that hasn't been shechted. And that's Akira Satorah. That is Akira Satorah, because the Torah says to eat meat that's shechted. And shechted with a knife properly. So the Midbar, Nechira worked. Maybe not in Eretz Yisrael, and that's Akira Satorah. Or maybe not. But again, it's a chalos heter on the meat. Just the person's okah the Torah and eats without shechita. And therefore it's pashut, like we mentioned before about the Nazir. Of course the Nazir is aser b'chol yayin and b'chol mesim. Because now he has a sibas isser. He has a sibas isser to aser it. So what's a shayla? Doesn't matter which wine and which mace. Now there's a sibas isser. He's not allowed to drink wine. This is wine. He's not allowed to become tummy mace. This guy's dead. Who cares if he died before he became a Nazir? And also after Matan Torah. Even what they had before Matan Torah. A guy has something before Matan Torah. There's still the sibas isser. And since it's a sibas isser, pashat shakol aser. And not that the Rosh writes about Exeris Bezdin, to Aser, let's say, Vina Sakum, Shloko Sakum. So we have to say that the Siba for the Yisr is only on the Gvinos and the Shlokos of now. Because why didn't the rabbis Aser it earlier? It must be the earlier Gvinos and Shlokos that they had as Beseder. But still, the Tzivu we have Bezdin was Bistam. And it's Aser to go Neged Tzivu we have Bezdin. And that's the suffix of Rabbi Yirmiyah. Is a Tzivu L'Sha'avar also or not? Is this Tzivu on L'Sha'avar? And in a neder, if he asks something, he's mechadesh on himself a siba less or mitzad oisei dover. So now he has the siba se'isr. Of course, it's usher to him if he makes a neder from today. So now he has the siba and tzvadai usher. Because he says it's usher. So he says it's usher for me to drink apple juice. Okay? So now He's not allowed to drink apple juice. He asked on himself apple juice. But if he does it from a certain time, he mentions a certain time, so that time is goyrem the Yisr. And those that are before the time don't have Sibas Yisr. But yet he didn't explain. And the neder is Chalafi Diburo. So what's Munach? Was liegt in dein Werte? What's Mamunach B'Diburo? What's in his words? That's the suffix of Rabbi Yirmiyah. Did he mean also what I had from before? Or no? He says, from Gimel Sivan, I'm not going to drink apple juice. So did he mean the apple juice he also had before? No. Gimel Sivan is the Sibas Isser. And what he meant is only from Gimel Sivan and on, but not what I had before. No, maybe he only meant what he had from Gimel Sivan. Shach and Yoredei and Sin Reishut Ches, Yivkat and Gimel brings the Amshel Shlomo and Chulin. It was masig on the Rosh, that in a neder you go after Lashon B'nei Adam. He says to the Rosh, what are you talking about? You're telling Tzu. The Rosh's idea about neder, a shayla about neder, from Zman Mesuyam to the Rabbi Yirmiyah and the Gemara, you're a little bit dumb. You go after Lashon B'nei Adam. The Gemara is not about Lashon B'nei Adam. It's Nechira Mutter when they come to Eretz Yisrael. Is it us? It's nothing to do with Lashon B'nei Adam. That's the Amshel Shlomo that the Shach brings. And the Shach says no. It's Pashut that if there's Lashon B'nei Adam, you go after Lashon B'nei Adam. The Rosh is talking about when there isn't any Lashon B'nei Adam. Fi Hamakom L'fi Hazman. So we're done with the Lashon Be'etzem. Like the Shaila of Rav Yirmiyah. What's the Lashon of the Torah? What did the Torah mean when it was Matir, Basar, Nechira before, but not after they came into Eretz Yisrael? So now it appears as follows. Says Rav Man. Begeder aheter d'shas milcham ma'chulas asuris l'das haram. That's how we started. The gather of the Yisr l'das harambam, to eat. Gather of the heter to eat b'shas milchama, unkosher food. Since the alfusa is, from what the Torah says, kol tov, that it's good. Ubatim aleim kol tuv. You can eat stuff that houses are filled with good, and we said that's even talking about chazir. So this is not telling us that the Isser itself is mutter. It's just telling us that b'shas milchama, the achila is a maisa which doesn't have a mashmaut me'ever l'maisa atzma. It doesn't have any meaning beyond the maisa itself. And therefore, the only discussion is the isser and heter of the maisa itself, and not in the meaning that the maisa has klapei Torah. Because it says in the pasuk, it's kol tuv. Batim aleim kol tuv. So if it's batim aleim kol tuv, then it can't be neged Torah. It's not akiras dover min Torah, because the Torah said it's kol tuv. So that's not being okra the Torah. So that's the way it is at a time of war. There's no mashmos besides the actual maisa. So here the guy has nothing to eat. The Rambam says he's hungry. It's nothing to eat. So it's not bikuach nefesh. But this is no different, and this is why we got into the whole discussion of Hotzas Mammon. If you remember from the previous two shiurim, I hope you heard them, that it's no less than Hotzas Mammon. Hotzas Mammon is a hagbala b'chiyuv atzivui. Right? We said that anachom mitchashvim, we do pay attention to money. If you're not chayiv to spend money, that means that you can. And you can't do it. And it makes it heter. So here also, this is a hagbala and a tzivu. But the Torah said not to eat unkosher. So being oker davar min Torah is not oker davar min Torah, because the Torah said kol tuv. It's not a kira. But what about the mice itself of eating unkosher? So even if it's not bikuach nefesh, but it's like requiring the guy to spend money. It's a hagbala and nechiv atzivut. So if the guy's hungry, that far he's not obligated to go, not to eat unkosher. B'shas milchama. And according to this, the Avi Ezri discusses somebody who has what to eat, but he dafka wants a davar asir. And amal daber, he can't eat it. Because we're talking about this guy actually being hungry. We're talking about this guy, if he's hungry, that's hagbala b'chiyuv atzivur. And this is like what the Radbaz writes in the Tshuvas, brought in the Pischei Tshuva. In Yerodei Kufin and Zayin, if a person is among the Goyim, how much money does he have to spend when he has no machal heter? How much to eat kosher? Radbaz says, Kol Mamono! Why Kol Mamono? Because like we discussed in the earlier shir, because this is Machmas Akira Satorah. By Chalutzei Tzava, we don't have Akira Satorah. But when a person is not a Chalutzei Tzava, because the Torah says Kol Tuv, so it's not Akira Satorah. When a person, we said when it comes to Akira Satorah, there's no Hagbala. There's no limits in the Yisr. You got to go to all lengths. Either die, if it's the big three, or all your money, if it's not. But if it's just the Maisa itself, if it's just an Aveira itself without Akira Satorah, then there's a Hagbala in the Chiyuv. What's the Hagbala? That if you're hungry, you don't have to be hungry. You're allowed to eat, just like you don't have to spend for an essay less more than a fifth. But if a person's in a place among Goyim and he wants to get Ma'achalei Heter, he has to spend all of his money. Because there it's Akiras Divrei Torah. Akiras Divrei Torah, to spend all your money, as we discussed. But Chalutzei Tzava, it's not Akiras Torah, so all you're dealing with is the Maisa itself. And the Maisa itself, there's a Hagbal Mechi in the Tzibui. And Hagbal is not if you're hungry. And with this we can understand the Gemara. Because the Gemara says, this B'sar Nechira, is it mutter when they come into Eretz Yisrael? So we ask, so the Gemara says, wait a second. They're allowed to eat unkosher. They're allowed to even eat chazir. So they're certainly allowed to eat sar nechira. So we asked the kasha, no. But according to the Rambam, there's a difference. Because outs eating unkosher, they're only allowed to eat. They're hungry. And mitzad b'sar nechira, we're asking if they're allowed to eat it, even if they're not hungry. To be an afkamina, b'sar nechira, when they're not hungry and you can't learn from regular unkosher food. That was our kasha. Based on what we said, we understand the Gemara beautifully. Because why would a vari nechira be aser? Not because there's a cheftzeh d'isura. Because it's not. It's a cheftzeh d'atera. It had nechira. So what's the problem? The problem is akira. The problem is they're uprooting what it says in the Torah. The Torah says to eat with shchita. But akira doesn't apply in wartime. That's what we said before. Batim aleim kol tuv. It's tuv. It's not considered akira satorah. So b'shar macholas asuras that don't have an isur atzmi, the Rambam said that they have an isur atzmi, they have a lav. The Rambam says they have to be hungry, because that's the hagbala and the lav. It's asur to eat unkosher unless they're hungry. That far you don't have to go. To be hungry, if you're a soldier, to be hungry, that you don't have to do. But when it comes to an animal that you had nechira done, so there it's going to be mutter even if you're not hungry. You can't say it's going to be an afkamin if you're not hungry. It's pashut, it's mutter even if you're not hungry. Why? Because again, mitzad the lav, it's a cheftzeh de'atera. Doesn't have an isra atzmi. And it's also not a kira satorah because it's considered batim aleim kol tuv. That's the Gemara's kasha. So what's an afkamina? Was it B'sar Nechir when they came into Eretz Yisrael? Is it mutter? Of course it's mutter. They're allowed to even eat chazir. Of course they're allowed to eat this meat that was once mutter. No. This meat that was maybe we're talking about when they're not hungry. No, it's pashut. When they're not hungry, they're allowed to eat this meat because it doesn't have not the chavtza d'isura because it was shechted, because it had a matir. It was in the midbar. They did nechir, which is considered like shechita. And now you're going to tell me now they're eating without shechita. That's considered akiras davar min haTorah. It's not, because that doesn't apply to chalutzei tzava. Gemara is a good kasha. What's the nafkamin in the Shaila of Yirmiyah? With this, we can far enfrin the kasha of the Dvar Avram, Chelik Aleph, Siman Yud Aleph, Osvav, B'chalutzei Tzava. Does this heter apply also to goyim? Are they allowed to eat things that are forbidden to them? Are they allowed to eat Avram and Achai? So if it's usher to them, then as the Var Avram avers, he says, Mistama, the heter doesn't apply by Akum. But it says by Yifas Toar, Meek immediately Yisrael Shar B'nei Noach Aser. Can you have something that to a Jew is mutter and to a guy is Aser? How could it be this mutter for us and Aser for them? But based on what we said, according to the Ramban, only the Jews were allowed B'Milchemes Eretz Yisrael. So it's pashut that akum is aser, and there's no problem that it's mutter for us and aser to them. They don't have such a chetimtzi of Milchemes Eretz Yisrael. By us, it's only heter by Milchemes Eretz Yisrael, not by them. They don't have such a thing. There's only a kasha according to the Rambam. How could it be according to the Rambam that it's aser for them? How could it be aser for them, mutter for us? According to the Rambam, this heter applies to all wars. Based on what we said in a previous shir, akum don't have this inyan of akiras haTorah, and therefore they're not chayiv chol mamonim al alosaseh, and therefore they also don't have this hagbala of ein lo mayochal. Meaning, if ein lo mayochal, they can eat even shelo b'milchama. So it really is mutter for them. He said, "Mechalutzei tzava mistama don't have this head." According to the Rambam, how can that be? And it's mutter for us and usher for them. How can that be? So according to the Ramban, it's Milchemes Eretz Yisrael. No hechitimsi for them by Milchemes Eretz Yisrael. And according to the Rambam, it's taka mutter for them, because for them they don't have a kiras haTorah. And therefore, if it's stam also for them to eat, if they're hungry, then there's a limit in how far you go. When it comes to, we only go kol mamon alosaseh because that's akiras davar min haTorah, but they don't have Torah. So, there's a lot more to say, and I hope HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give us the koach and the moach to finish explaining this Rambam. I mean, never finish, but to have more insight. But Baruch Hashem, we're reading the flaws mitaras Hashem, and we should be zocher lilmod l'lamed lishma v'lasa l'kaimis kol divrei sam v'torah v'yahava. Amen v'amen. Shalom, shalom, sweetest and most beloved friend.